All right, all right. Here we go, here we go. It is your Gen X gentleman. My name is JB, and that is Tell. What's going on, Tell?
I am all right, man. I just ready to get my teeth into this topic. It's a little bewildering to me.
Bewildering? Okay, all right. Well, um, this right here is going to be an interesting video that we're going to review. It is Mike Tyson and Little Boosie. Now, Mike Tyson is definitely someone who we have been admiring for a long time, just based on his longevity when it comes to the fight game. But I'm not as familiar with Lil Boosie, so but this right here is a I guess a talking to. He's giving his experience to Little Boosie when it comes to a mother's love. So and how one treats or one is treated based on when it comes to your mother and or your spouse or your wife, that type of thing. So um, again, we are the Gen X gentlemen, and we are going to do this review. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and if you would, there is, let's see, there's going to be some commentary at the end. So if you can, please stay for the commentary that we're going to go over, and that will be what we'll discuss later on. All right. So without further ado, let's take a look at the video.
And that's what I listen. So we think like
Oh, you know what? That's the wrong video.
we
Let's
have
go
women,
this
the
one.
white men have women to make us realize that we're men. You know, and we just need to think about life. And listen, I'm 54, and this is what I realize. And I mean, if a man's not intimidated of his wife or a little bit afraid, that means he's not living his life right. Or his partner, or her partner, whatever it is. Just at the end of their life, if they're not a little bit intimidated or afraid, it's because they're not living their life right. And that's what I listen. So we think like I'm an idiot.
How many times you been married, Mike?
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah. But it's my mother's love. That's what you want. That's all we want. Any woman that we associate with because they remind us of our mother, even though subconsciously. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. She could be educated, but could have been a slipper. She had the personality of your mother, something about her. That's the only reason I like you anyway, because I'm attracted to my mother and you have that characteristic.
Right. My first love, I fell in love with her because if I got sick, she used to console me like my mother. She was the only motherfucker could
Listen.
heal me like my mother. And it wouldn't. This ain't on no sex. This was just on some.
Listen, listen, I know you said no sex, but know why it didn't work? Because of sex. You know what I mean? We look for our mother and our lover, but our mother could never be our lover because our lover would never love us like our mother. She's not in her. It's not in no woman to love us like our mother loves us. It's not in her. Don't care how much the slave shit. Don't care how many people she fuck for you, bring you the money. It's not in her to love you like your mother loves you. Eventually she'll turn her back on you.
That's crazy.
Eventually she'll turn on you, nigga. You treat her like a dog, she
Ain't
turn on
love her
you.
like your mother love you. That's
No.
a song.
Yeah, listen. Listen, hey.
It ain't in her to love her
Hey.
like your mother.
Hey. I listen to
Man, that's some real shit.
I listen to I look at my
That's
wife.
why you can't, man.
Nigga,
That's
no.
why she could.
I look at my wife. They don't take shit. Listen, both my ex-wife.
Oh, Mike, I
and my
gotta.
wife.
Hey, Mike, I gotta tell somebody that.
No, you ain't listen.
That's why,
no,
bro.
No, I'm gonna tell you
It
something.
wasn't in her to love her like my mama loved me.
That in her.
Yeah, it wasn't in her. It wasn't in her, man.
Real talk. That's real
Know
talk.
why? Know why? Because her survival, even though she do, but she does everything she does for you. Listen, everything she does for you is for her survival. Everything your mother do for you is for your survival.
That's real. Nah,
Now listen.
That's straight up.
Listen,
Right
can I
there.
tell you something? It's not over, nigga. Right? I just want you to know it's not over.
Hold on. Did you hear me? I
I
had my
did not
mic
hear
on.
anything. Yeah.
I said Mike Tyson is giving some advice to Little Boosie when it comes to a mother's love. Okay,
Hmm.
and Mike is explaining to him there is nothing like a mother's love. Now, I would agree that um, a woman who is maternal and you know adores her children in terms of the fact that that's who they are and that's who they represent. Yes, I would agree, but not all mothers have that quality. Um, and Mike is speaking from experience, and I think Lil Boosie is doing the same. Um, and that part of who they are, they believe that a mother's love is like unwavering, undying. That part of it will always be there, and it's far more than any spouse, any wife that you would have in their love. And so that's his opinion. It's I think a good majority of folk would feel that way. Um, but at the same time, it depends on your upbringing. It depends on your your ability to understand, the relationship between a mother and a son, a mother and a daughter. Um, that's something that you have to really grasp. And some have good ones, and some don't. So, what are your thoughts on it, Joe?
I concur. My disagreement is Tyson saying, quote, I am, when no, well, when he was saying that you're attracted to a woman like your mother. That's anecdotal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not attracted to any woman like my mother. I've
Okay.
never been attracted to any woman like my mother. And that may be based on our relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a healthy thing that you should be attracted to a woman like your mother, or maybe just some characteristics,
Yeah,
but not like your
qualities. Mm-hmm.
qualities, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but not in general, because they went off saying that you don't have sex with your mother in earlier commentary that we were listening to. Uh, Other than that, you're attracted to your mother. I think that was just a little bit off on the deep end,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't agree with that at all. And it is
Right.
anecdotal. It's based on your relationship with your mother. If you're going to be looking for qualities in a woman that your mother has, I can see that and be more in agreement with that, but not to say a blanket statement you're attracted to your mother. No, you're
Mm-hmm.
attracted to certain qualities they may
Right.
present, because
Qualities.
it,
Qualities.
it, it sounds incestuous the way that they're talking.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So
And it wouldn't surprise me because Mike is a little off. Uh, he
Mike, well,
says a lot of
Mike's
questionable things.
Mike's always been off for all intent purposes. The fact that he's got a couple jabs to the head for a good long while, man. But he
Yeah.
comes to us. He comes from some um profoundness in terms of some of the things that he does express. And Lil Boosie, again, not as familiar with him. I don't have that much to say in terms of who and what he is. So, but I get it in terms of what they're trying to say. I don't necessarily agree with it though.
All right. I'm with you there.
Hmm.
I'm with
So
you there.
so in like, I guess if I had to look at it in terms of like I told you myself, um, my mom was good with us. You know what I'm saying? I do believe, and I still believe that she loved us. You know, us. You know, she brought four children into the world. Um, and the mere fact that she did that, you know, I don't know. Any woman who decides to give birth, man, that's an automatic love. That's like, hey, you know, I went through 9 months, and you know what I'm saying, you know, the struggle of having to bear a child. My gosh. So yes, that
Yeah, but
should
there's
be
some women that will forsake their kids. They didn't really, they're not there for them. They give them up for adoption.
true. True that. True that. And that's something that one has to look at, you know, for the
They,
persons who, depending on again, and it all depends on their upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Some mothers are maternal, others are not.
yeah, I just happen to believe the ones that are not maternal are mental
Mm,
because you're fighting your nature.
right. Because it
Highly
is,
dysfunctional and mental.
yeah, it's a true nature to be that, because that's your objective is to have the children and bring them up, raise them, you know, be maternal, um, be, you know, affectionate, you know, towards them, and try your best to nurture them in whatever way that you can.
Right.
Right. And again, in my case, my mom was not as affectionate. Matter of fact, my dad was more affectionate than my mom. So that to me is when Mike talks about, the love of a mom, I don't doubt that to this day. My mom is 93 years old. God bless her, and she does love me. Um, but I think for the most part, um, that's something that, I believe. And if one looks at it in terms of who and what one's mom is, that's a great thing. But that's not everybody's experience.
Right. My experience is very similar to yours. There are some differences in my relationship with my mother, but my mother was not that affectionate either.
Hmm.
My dad was much more affectionate.
Hmm. So,
Just
like I said,
unfortunate. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, it's just unfortunate I didn't get to grow up with him.
Hmm. So, I mean, it all depends. I mean, these two gentlemen, based on their experience, their upbringing, and there's a lot that one would compare. I mean, like I said, from that to a spouse. Now, do you believe that a spouse and or wife, that type of thing, could love you more than your mom?
Yes,
Hmm.
I do believe that.
Hmm. I agree.
A,
So
de-
in
a
some,
devout, true feminine woman who's submissive to her man, yes,
mhm,
can love you more than your mother,
just as much more.
or more, just as much or more. In
Okay.
my case, she's definitely going to love me more than my mother,
Mm,
who I choose
okay.
to be my spouse, or else
Right.
she's not going to be my spouse.
Mm, okay. Okay. And don't you think in some cases that there's also a little bit of form of jealousy when it comes to, or rivalry sometimes? You know how some women when they get with men and they meet their mother, they tend to like, I don't like her. I don't like her. You know what I'm saying? Something about her I don't like, that type of thing. And it might be a quality, like we talked about the quality, it might be a quality in that woman, that she bring that you they bring to meet their mother,
Hmm.
that is similar to her, but she doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's just
The mother doesn't like it.
the mother does not like the wife to be. You know what I'm saying? When you've had that experience, you bring your, or maybe not. I mean, you bring a girl to meet your mom, right? And your mom says, your mom, for some reason she don't like her. You know what I'm saying? There's something about this girl that she don't like.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I've
Hmm.
seen it. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
right. You know, and I've had girlfriends over the years in terms of when I'm bringing them, from my mom, and some she like, others she's like, oh no, oh no, that's not. She's not
I
the
agree,
one.
but almost no chick that I ever introduced my mother like. As a matter of fact, I didn't introduce my mother to too many, but she's the 3 or 4 she met, she didn't like.
Right. It's almost like they say they're never good enough, right? They're never good enough
Hmm.
for their son per se, whatever, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And in the opposite, a lot of women, based on becoming the spouse, becoming the wife, tend to not like the mother-in-law, or you know what I'm saying, once they become that mother-in-law, because they tend to, I guess, not you've heard the term, and it's in the Bible. I'm not sure where, but that leave and cleave thing. You leave the household of your mother, and then you're supposed to cleave to your spouse, your wife,
Hmm.
right? And so you tend to, we've all heard the term "mama's boy," okay, and
Right.
that that thing is something that normally you're supposed to grow out of. Normally you're supposed to say, okay, well, you know what? I'm no longer up under my mother's, apron strings. I'm now with
Right.
my spouse, my wife, whoever that is, right?
Hmm.
And I should put away those ways of having to be with mom, because now I'm with my wife,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Uh, with regards to their comments on it, I think it's a little off. That's anecdotal.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may be looking for their mother in a woman. Others may not. Just depends on your relationship. But it's just the way that his implications, the way that he expressed it, can somewhat be misconstrued as incestuous.
Uh, yeah, he had a little bit of
It's a weird
because that
vibe.
pause, that Mike had is like, it's because of the sex. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what, Mike? What
Yeah.
are you talking about? Because of the sex? Is why it didn't work is because of the sex. So like, okay, I don't get that one, Mike. Mike, you need to like, you
He
know,
says some left field stuff, but he still has a lot of after effects of the drugs over the years and the mental instability.
well, they was kicking back and smoking it up at
Hmm.
even in this session. So you know,
Hmm.
who knows in terms of what comes out and what manifests based on just getting getting a little high during the session, right?
Hmm. See, I don't
So,
know. I've never hit the boom, so I can't comment on it, what it would make
oh,
me do, because everybody
okay,
reacts differently to different things.
it
Maybe it's a
does.
truth serum for some.
Hmm.
I have no idea. I can't comment. That's some territory that I'm not familiar with in that
Okay,
regard.
well, I am, and yes, it does do that. You tend to express yourself a little bit more openly, okay,
So it's
and
sort of like
so
it's like alcohol then.
yeah, yeah. Alcohol more does it to the degree of like I don't know. It's like you feel a certain way even with alcohol. Alcohol becomes more of a truth teller too. Um, but
Oh,
it
absolutely. Your inhibitions
yeah.
come out.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Exactly.
something that's been laying heavy on your head and your heart. You get
Mm-hmm.
sauced up, it'll bring it out of you.
Oh, it will. It will. It will. And so they were both, doing their thing, and some of those truths were coming out. You know, you know, s- depending on who looks at this particular uh, podcast that they were on, and they go further on to other subject matters. But this one right here, a lot of people have been talking about because it's dealing with um, the love of a mother and
Right.
how one can be. I guess I don't know about caught up in that, but feeling a certain way based on reflecting that onto your spouse, onto your wife, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
um, but there's all kinds of differences in terms of how that. And Mike been married 3 times, so the mere fact, and Lil Boosie ain't married, and I don't think he's ever been married. If I looked up some of this stuff, I don't think he's been married. They both have a mess of children. So it's not like they were, you know, doing anything other than that. So
Right.
the sex, there was a lot of sex there, bro. Okay, so because
Hmm.
all those mess of children that you both have. So who knows? Who knows in terms of how that would work out? But it's a conversation that people um, would strike up, and depending on who you are, got some truth to it.
Okay.
Hmm. So, any other thoughts in terms of how that whole conversation went?
Nah, it was a little bizarre. It was a little there was some truth in it. I will agree.
Hmm.
Uh, you can try to interpret or give credence to what Mike the point that we think Mike was trying to get across, but I think something was lost in the shuffle there, and I think there was some distortion and convolution that led me to believe there's some incestuous innuendos behind what he was saying.
It it can be, and depending on them not really expressing it in that, and any further, they kind of went
Hmm.
there and stopped. They didn't go any further in terms of how that would work. They just decided to go in that direction of the whole aspect of um, protector, or the fact that a mother is going to look to protect, right?
Right.
So that's yet another thing, and maybe another conversation that one would have. But Mike is interesting, man. I tell you, in his latter years, he has quite a bit that he has to say, and you know, we take it with a grain of salt. He's Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
man. Come on, he's not a philosopher in terms of that, but a lot of people, they tend to acknowledge some of the things that he's been saying nowadays. So
Because he's celebrity.
that
People
too.
idolize celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
just like Jesus Christ is a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
The belief of Jesus Christ, I should say, is celebrity.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know. Like I said, just the mere fact that you have that experience with your mom and or your spouse, who knows in terms of where you would look to go going forward. So
Right.
but my agreement is that there's nothing like a mother's love if they are paternal, I'm sorry, maternal, and they have that quality towards them. Again, there's usually nothing like it, and they will go to the ends of the earth for their children. And the
Mm.
majority of the things that are happening in their lives, they might even set aside, like you said, their own spouse, for that child.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Hmm. All right. So,
Um,
any closing thoughts? Because we're gonna wrap this up.
nah, no closing thoughts this time. It's just it was an interesting short commentary, the dialogue on that particular topic. I
Right.
know they went into other things, but it perplexed me, and I thought that we should delve into it and give our interpretation or our opinion of what maybe it really should be, if
Hmm.
we're in agreement or not.
Right. Okay.
'Cause That
Cool.
that's not two stable guys there. I'm not saying that they're intelligent, but they're not too steady up in the mental capacity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And some of the people who watch this may not, but yes, I agree. Mike is, a lot of blows to the head over the years. So,
Hmm.
the fact that he's thinking about this and he's expressing it is one thing. But and again, I'm not familiar with Little Boosie at all to even know. I just know that he's a rapper. A lot of people, love his music. I I'm not a big fan, so who
Mm,
knows? Mhm. So
I
all
agree. I
right,
don't know much about him.
all right, well, cool. All right, so man, then we're gonna end this particular video now. we would appreciate, what's, give us some comments below. If what is your take on Mike Tyson and Lil Boosie and them getting together and talking about their mamas, or in terms of what goes on between that and or their spouses or wives, how that mother's love is there or not, and you know, let us know what you think. Let us know what your thoughts in terms of where what we've talked about, and we'll see how it goes. We'll all things considered, a mother's love is always something that we would enjoy, and
Mhm.
if that's your experience, or if it's not, please comments below so we can respond to you and see where this conversation goes. All right. Okay. Well, so, all right. Thanks again. Appreciate you, my brother. We're gonna do this again in the next episode. We'll take it from here, and please, if you would, if you like this information that we're bringing to you, like and subscribe, and we'll
Yes.
see you. We'll see you. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Take care.
All right. Peace. Deuces.
Mhm.